Thank you very much to Mike Valines and to Dick Ackerman for their great leadership. And especially on the recent budget, because let me tell you something, that 3.5 years ago we had a $16.5 billion structural deficit. Today we have zero because of those two gentlemen. So a big hand to them. And on top of that, we are fully funding education, and we are fully funding public safety, and we are paying down our debt, and for the 4th year in a row, we are not raising taxes. So I think this is quite an accomplishment. And the new budget contains less. I mean, the spending has gone up only by less than 1%, which is also a great accomplishment. I think the federal government should be so lucky to have a budget that we have here in California, let me tell you that. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this is not going to be a typical convention address. I did not come here with a bunch of applause lines, but instead I came here with some concerns about our party and some hopes, of course, too. There is no better place, of course, to raise them than right here at this convention. Because the people that are in this room love the Republican Party, because otherwise you wouldn't be here. Since I know that you want our party to flourish and to be the best, this allows me to speak frankly about how we can make it stronger and how we can ensure that it is not relegated to the margins of California's political life. I know there are some of you who now think, well, who is Arnold to talk about Republicans? I mean, he's not really a true Republican. Well, let me tell you something, that I've been a Republican since Richard Nixon. And I've been a Republican in spite of the years of debates with Maria and the entire Shriver clan and all the Kennedys up in Hyannisport. And believe me, it would have been much easier to abandon my Republican identity years ago, but I did not, because I love the Republican Party. Being a Republican is very important to me. Now, where is the party today? In California, as you know, our party is losing numbers. An astonishing 30 of 32 Republican Assembly districts lost registered Republicans this year. Since 2005, we have lost 370,000 registered voters, all Republicans. And not just the last 8 months alone, our numbers have declined by 120,000. In movie terms, we would say we are dying at the box office. We are not filling the seats. Now, while the number of California Republicans has been declining, the number of independents has been growing. They may well outnumber both of the parties in just 20 years. So who are these people? According to the Public Policy Institute, 70% of independents own their own homes. Most are graduates with incomes of more than $60,000. They're younger and more likely to be employed than members of either majority party. They describe themselves as moderates. They often hold conservative views in fiscal policy and law and order issues, while taking more liberal stance on social and environmental issues. And they can be reached. They voted for me 59% to 33% over my opponent last year. The real opportunity for Republicans is that independents generally agree with our core principles. Like us, they believe in limited government that is not wasteful. They believe taxes should be as low as possible, because the more you give to government, the more it will spend. Trust me, they're right. They believe in individual freedom and the responsibility that goes with that freedom. And they believe in the importance of public safety. And they believe that economic prosperity comes from the energy of the marketplace, not from the heavy hand of the state. I want to make the Republican Party welcome these independents. Now, the reason why I'm mentioning this is because there were some Republicans who had proposed that we should not allow independents to vote in our Republican primaries. What kind of a sense would that make? I mean, the Democrats have already made it clear that they welcome the independents to their primary. I think that we should welcome them as well. Now, how do we succeed in that? By being inclusive, by including, not excluding, by being open to new ideas, not rejecting them out of hand, and by expanding into the center, not falling back upon ourselves into a smaller and smaller corner. The surveys show that the majority of our own party also wants us to work on comprehensive healthcare reform, not stand in its way. My proposal is not a European socialist plan. It is not a Canadian single-payer plan that is driving Canadians across the border to get healthcare. Not at all. My plan is a good faith attempt at a market-based solution. Never in history has medicine ever been able to make such a difference in people's lives than now. And we will be on a losing end of history, unless we realize that healthcare must be addressed. If our party doesn't address the needs of the people, the needs of Republicans themselves, the voters, registered Republicans included, will look elsewhere for their political affiliation. The majority of Republicans prefer progress with messy compromise over defeat with pristine principles. Compromise is part of politics, and it is especially a part of politics if you're the minority party. You do not have to defend the past alone. Let me tell you, there are as many people behind us. Defeat does not have to be our future. A large body of reinforcement is right behind us, and it's called the middle, and it's called the center. They are the independents, they are the Reagan Democrats, and they are the disenchanted Republicans. We do not have to give up who we are for them to come to our aid. They already believe much in what we believe, but they must also be allowed to believe in other things too, things that perhaps not all of us will agree with. I think that is fine. Now the road to our comeback is clear. The California Republican Party should be a right-of-the-center party that occupies the broad middle of California. That is a lush, green, and abandoned political space, and that can be ours. We have done so many great things together. I am so proud of the Republican Party, of what we have accomplished. I mean, we brought back the economy in these last 3.5 years. We reformed workers' compensation. We created nearly 1 million new jobs. We eliminated the operating deficit. We passed the biggest prison construction program in our history. We protected the 3 strikes. We passed Jessica's Law, and the list goes on and on and on. My fellow Republicans, I pledge to you that I will work hard to make the Republican Party strong. And for the sake of California and its people, I ask you to join me. Thank you very much. Thank you.